Hi, welcome to Entertainment Insider. I'm Gene Triplett, entertainment editor for the Oklahoman and newsok.com. I'm here today with George Lang, Matt Price, and Heather Warlick Moore, and we're here to talk about the new Three Stooges movie that's being planned. MGM and the Farrelly brothers are closing in on their cast for the Three Stooges, and the casting is pretty interesting, to say the least, maybe a little bizarre in some people's minds. First off, Sean Penn has already been signed to play Larry. And I'm wondering how well we all think Penn is going to fare in a comedy role, and can you imagine him as Porcupine? Now, you know, Penn hasn't done a comedy since 1989's We're No Angels. That's 20 years.
Yeah.
And there have been a lot of super serious roles since then. But who can forget his classic, you know, slacker, surfer, stoner guy in Fast Times at Ridgemont High? I mean, that's one of the great comedy turns of all time.
Absolutely.
Old Jeff Spicoli, one of the awesomest characters I can remember from the 80s, the guy who had the audacity to order pizza brought to class. What do you guys think?
Okay, well, I think that it's one of the great tragedies that Sean Penn has not done a whole lot of comedy since Fast Times. There was We're No Angels, and then the rest of it is just deadly, deadly serious. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what he can do at this point. And I think physically he's a good match for it. And really all he has to do is kind of rock that afro that he had in Carlito's Way, just modify it a little bit for some balding action, and he'll be good to go. That's pretty good casting, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he does.
Yeah, Sean Penn seems to be a reasonable pick for this, although I'm not sure if in the career guide to Hollywood that you say, okay, you've just won an Oscar for Harvey Milk, what are you going to do next?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to be in the cast of the Three Stooges. So I think he can do it. I do think it'll be fun to see him do a comedy, but it does seem like one of those weird, like, you just won the Oscar and you're doing this type performances. So
It's not a Norbit move.
it's not quite as bad as the Norbit.
I totally agree with Matt. I think it's pretty funny that he's going from Milk to this, and I agree with George too. Physically, I think out of all of them, he's the one that actually kind of fits the bill the most. So, and he is great in comedies. So we'll see.
Yeah,
it's a weird. The whole idea of the movie to me is bizarre. Just like doing the Three Stooges as, you know, the Three Stooges.
It's not a biopic. It's them playing the Three Stooges.
And they're trying to bring it to a whole new
Stooges
generation
shtick.
or something.
I don't know. Anyway, I don't know what they're thinking. The studio is currently in negotiations with Jim Carrey to play Curly. And if he takes the role, he's vowed to pack on 40 pounds and, of course, shave his head. I think even with the extra bulk and a shaved head, can you picture Carrey as Curly?
What do you think?
No, I think Jim Carrey is not really the right. I mean, he does, you know, have a lot of physical humor, but it's just a different type. I don't think he's. Maybe he'll surprise us all. I mean, I think he has some talents he hasn't tapped yet. As far as you see a lot of Jim Carrey being Jim Carrey, and you don't see him disappearing into a role as much as maybe he could. So maybe something will come of it. But my first instinct is that this is not maybe going to work.
Yeah, you know, to me, this smacks of some studio exec who's living in 1996 when they used to say, you know, whenever there would be a casting call, people would say, "Get Jim Carrey, get Jim Carrey, he's awesome." Well, he's not that hot at this point. I mean, if you saw Yes Man, he's kind of coasting comedically. He's probably been doing Curly imitations since he was 3. So he probably really wants it. But yeah, I just don't see it. Even if he packed on 40 pounds, the guy is rail thin. He needs to pack on more, like, you know, 60 or 70 pounds to really get it. Because I mean, when I saw him in December, absolutely, you know, he's a toothpick. So, you know, we'll see about that. I would like to see somebody a little more, I don't know, you know, like Jonah Hill from Superbad. You know, just shave him down, and you got Curly. So yeah. But what do you think, Heather?
Oh, I don't know. I agree. I think that physically he just looks weird. I mean, maybe he's such a great actor he can just like morph into that character and do it, and you won't even think about the fact that he doesn't look like him or, you know, have the physicality to do it. But I don't know. You know, I was reading online. It kind of reminds me of like the 1999 attempt to remake Laurel and Hardy with Bronson Pinchot, or however you say his name.
Yeah.
You know, trying to
Balky.
imitate Balky as Stan Laurel. So. I mean, hopefully it won't turn out to something like that. And we all know that Jim Carrey needs a hit. So,
that's true.
you know, keep your fingers crossed.
Well, he's a master of physical comedy, which is definitely a requirement for this deal. But like you said, he just doesn't have the right physicality. I just can't see him, even with the 40 pounds packed on. He's still going to look like gangly Jim Carrey. So I don't know about that one. Now, finally, for the king of cranky, Mo, the Farrellys and MGM are zeroing in on Benicio Del Toro. Now, here's another guy that's known mainly for very dark and not very humorous characterizations. You think he's a good enough actor to pull off a believable Mo?
Wow. You know, he can be funny. And you know, he in The Usual Suspects, you couldn't understand a word he was saying, and it was fantastic. You know, but when I think if they're going to zero in on maybe a Latino actor, then go with Javier Bardem, because he was rocking that Mo dude. In No Country for Old Men, or was that a Shemp? I'm not really sure. I mean, you know,
closer to Shemp.
but I don't know. I mean, that is a really hard one to cast, and you know, and of course, you know, I think we were talking earlier that I just want to cast Apatow people in the whole thing. You know? So Jonah Hill, let's put Seth Rogen in there. Just give him that blunt, you know, Beetle wig to wear, and he's got the cranky down, so, you know.
Yeah, I might, your Apatow version might make more sense, but in the Farrelly version, Benicio Del Toro, boy, I don't know. It seems like they're going to say, here's some people we know for whatever reason are funny, even if you haven't seen it as an audience, and we'll just have to see if that ends up being the case or not.
Yeah. Ditto. I don't know.
Heather.
Well, I'll tell you one of the a couple of people that they talked to about Mo, Larry David. That's kind of an interesting choice. Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp, there you go.
Yeah, for Mo.
Wow.
But they've also talked to George Clooney and Russell Crowe for Mo.
Wow.
But, so I don't know where they're going with this at all. I don't know.
Is this just playing dress up?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think Clooney could maybe do it. I could see that perhaps.
Well, he's good at comedy. But,
yeah.
I don't know. We'll have to see how that cranks out.
Yeah. Maybe they should have asked Joaquin Phoenix. He'd be great in this.
He's working on his comedic timing.
That's right.
What do you think about Jack Black for Curly? I just thought.
Oh man.
I thought he might be good.
Good call.
Yeah,
Jack
nice
Black?
one.
Okay.
Very nice.
All right. Well, we're for Jack Black. We'll just have to send in our votes.
That's right.
Well, anyway, that's all we have for this week on Entertainment Insider. We had some fun with this one, and I hope you did too. And we'll just wait to see what happens with this Three Stooges project. But anyway, thanks for joining, and we'll talk to you again next time.
Let's see it.